And I just want to see. Oh, I see. Nice. Okay. Just going to have a sip of water. I'll see you all on the other side. Oh, greetings, beloved children. Oh, it's your group soul, Serena. We are beside ourselves with joy, with rapture. We're so excited to be once again intermingling in this beautiful, profound, sacred, loving way. We truly adore being your spiritual mirror, and we hope, well, we know that you feel the same because we truly are one. We are gathering our speakers for tonight. They are coming from near and far. They are coming across the horizon to us. Some of them you know of, some of them are very, very old, some of them are very new. But they are coming with the purpose of speaking about giving and what it means to give in a time of turmoil and what giving does to the soul and how giving is a form of healing. As our April has already pointed out, plants themselves are giving, aren't they, of a beautiful sound. We know that every single rock and every single tree and every single planet gives a vibration. We know that all of you are giving vibrations right now. It is impossible, really, for any being, conscious or unconscious, sentient or semi-sentient, to not give. It is impossible to not give. It is impossible to withhold. It is a myth, we believe, that withholding or greed or not sharing are actually energies that remain on the planet. We have never seen any such energies that have to do with withholding remain in consciousness or remain on the planet. Simply walk about in the forest floor, simply walk about near the ocean, and you will see that the earth itself is constantly giving of itself. And when it takes in such a way so as to create from that taking something brand new, something else that is given. We are constantly giving. We are now hearing from our first speaker who is coming forward. This is a group of beings that are calling themselves Polaris, and we are being asked to step aside so that they may come forward. And we say, welcome, Polaris. Good evening, beloveds. We are a collective. We call ourselves Polaris. We have named ourselves after the North Star, the trustworthy star, you call it, that North Star of your being, that place that you focus yourself upon. Your Reverend Violet referred to it when she talked about maintaining that discipline of staying in the world, but not of it. This is a focus that belongs to the North Star of your being. And that focus that belongs to the North Star of your being, that determination to continuously love, continuously sing, continuously create, no matter what. That is our fundamental vibration. And it is the givingness of this posture that we wanted to talk to you about tonight. You are well informed that the light that you see from distant stars does not, in fact, exist anymore, except as a beautiful, beautiful memory of light, a gift that was given billions upon billions of years ago, eons ago. Those very stars that you see gave of themselves, gave a gift of light. And that gift that they have given continues to give, continues to meet human consciousness. And at some point, when all of you, when all of humanity has lifted itself up out of its human form and moved forward into its next form, that beautiful light will continue. You will become those stars that give that light to other planets, to other sentient beings. Never despise a small gift, that gift of taking a breath and realizing within yourselves what an amazing gift it is to be in human form. Never despise the small gift of standing upright or leaning over to drink from a cup of tea. Never despise that small gift of lying in your bed and pulling your covers over and feeling yourself move into a beautiful, beautiful night's sleep. These gifts, although they may seem small to human consciousness, are actually enormous, vast, and infinite in their ability to convey to consciousness what a gift absolutely everything and everyone is. As Polaris, as a consciousness that represents that North Star, as a consciousness that represents a vision that holds the entire planet Earth at a distance, at a loving distance. There are things that we are able to see that we would like to share with you. We have heard you speak of, not just in tonight's Zoom group, but many, many, many times throughout the day and evening, many, many, many human voices are crying to us that the sense of violence and the challenge of the era that you live in feels as though it cannot be overcome or that it is just too much. And what we want to say to you, dear ones, may initially land upon your heart in a way that may initially feel heavy, but we promise you, if you sit with it, it will bloom into the gift that it is intended to be. For when we look upon your planet and when we sense the vibration of your world, which is indeed challenging, we are completely aware of the rhetoric, of the anger, of the viciousness, of the arguments and the pettiness, the jealousies, and of course, of the capricious violence. We are aware of all of it. And yet, from our North Star perspective, even this difficult energy is a gift. Even this is a gift. Why do we say so? Beloveds, we feel we have the right to say so because we have been observing your planet for eons. We have seen it come through many, many times of extreme violence, of extreme war, of vicious campaigns, far worse than what you are going through now. Believe us when we say that your little blue globe, your precious little planet, has actually been through far worse. The dinosaurs are here, and they are nodding their heads and saying, yes, what we went through was far worse. There are so many beings who have gone through far worse on your planet, and they are all here to help you and to help you see that even a violent thought is a gift in the sense that where it lands, it creates a kind of discrete vibration that immediately is seized upon by a loving universe. All of the violent rhetoric that you are exposed to, that you see day in and day out, that you hear day in and day out, all of that rhetoric, each and every piece of it, is immediately seized upon by a loving universe and alchemized and seen as a wound through which the light is showing. We are just one collective that speaks to the gift of violence to become a wound where the light shows through. We are only one, and there are thousands, millions, billions, an infinite number of collectives just like us. We thank you for listening to us. We can feel your heartstrings moving in accordance with our words. We know that you have taken in our vibration deeply. Know that we are here for you. And when it becomes too much, reach up, reach out, call to the North Star. Call to the North Star of your being and call to Polaris, the collective that stands here in readiness to always, always remind you that even this time that you are in is a profound and beautiful gift. And we thank you and namaste. And this is your group Souls Arena, and we are so delighted by this beautiful exchange from Polaris, and we are ready for our next guest, and we feel him coming forward. It is an energy you are so familiar with. This is Master Saint Germain. We withdraw. Good evening, my dear comrades. It is so delightful to be here with you. Your fragrance, do you know, is so compelling. Are you aware that I can smell when you are gathering? And are you aware that your vibration creates a smell that is a gift to me? Did you know that? Did you know that you give of yourselves, you give off of a smell that is delicious and beautiful and compelling. I wanted you to know that you smell good and you give of that smell to me. And so I am here with you. I know that some of you sometimes have smelled other beings. You may not have smelled me, but I know that you have smelled the Blessed Mother. I know that you have smelled Sister Claire Rose. I know that you have smelled Lady Nada. I know that you have smelled many light beings. I thought it was time that you knew that you yourselves give off the gift of smell, and it is so powerful and so good. Why am I speaking of this today? Because I know as I listen to you, some of you are inclined to be concerned that what you call your reptilian brain, that part of you that is reactive, that part of you that is engaged in fight or flight or freeze or fawn or please, that reactive aspect of you is not serving, is not giving of its best to the planet at a time when the planet needs so much more than just mere reaction. Let me assure you that what you are giving to the planet is profound. For when you do react, when you are frightened, when you are worried, when you are anxious, what I notice that you do when you feel that reptilian part of your brain come into engagement, you are also able to feel into that part of your brain that is sensitive to vibration. And at the same time that you are worried or anxious, at that very same time, you are attuned to the vibration of peace. And you are giving that awareness of peace with every step you take. A phrase came in as I was gathering myself to come forward, as I was smelling you, you might say. A phrase came into my consciousness. I want to share it with you. The phrase is give towards the horizon. Give as far as you can towards the horizon of your being. Some of you have called this thinking of the next 7 generations, thinking ahead, giving forward, paying forward, not paying back, not tit for tat, but giving forward. And the expression give towards the horizon came up for me in my consciousness. And so I asked my teachers, because of course, every teacher needs teachers. You know that, don't you? I asked my teachers, what does it mean to give towards the horizon? And I heard Socrates come forward, and I heard Plato come forward. I heard Confucius come forward. I heard our dear Yeshua come forward. I heard Muhammad, peace be upon him, come forward. I heard Rumi come forward. I heard so many of these beautiful ones. I heard Lady Nada and your Emmanuel come forward, and they all spoke to me about the necessity of giving until it appears to our consciousness, wherever our consciousness is, that there isn't anything else to give, that we've given until the horizon of our being, that we've given until it appears to us that we cannot give any more. Yeshua came and spoke to me, and he said, well, my dear fellow, this is what crucifixion was about. Don't you know? It was about giving unto the horizon until something else happens. giving until we die to that small, limited self, until we are reborn into that next version of self. And there is a next horizon to give towards. So you may be asking Germaine, that's a lot of beautiful words, but what does it mean? I know. What does it mean to give unto or towards until you meet the horizon? Well, I can tell you what it means to me. It means to give of myself until there is no self anymore. You already knew that, didn't you? To give of ourselves until there is no self left to give, until we have exhausted all of ourself, or the limit of self, or as much self as we have come to understand so far. And then, of course, what happens is there is a beautiful death, and a brand new self is born. You may ask how I kept myself alive in physical form for all those centuries, but you know what I did? I gave it away. Whenever I accumulated a lot of stuff, I knew it was time for me to start giving it away so that I could stay functioning in a brand new physical body. It's how I kept myself, my physical body, young. Now, it worked for me. It may not work for every single human being, but it worked for me. That every single time when I kept a domicile, and I would be in that habit, as humans are, of accumulating stuff, of gathering stuff to myself. Precious book, a precious ring, a beautiful cloak, a feather, a cap, whatever. I would gather these things, these precious things. And then at a certain point, it would become clear to me that if I were to regenerate, and if I were to keep going, I better give it all away. And give it all away is what I did. I gave every single possession away so that I could be reborn. I watch you do this, you know. I watch you go through your closets. I watch you go through your stuff. And I watch you give and give and give and give things away. And I know that what you are doing is creating for yourselves a newer, larger, vaster self with a newer, larger, vaster horizon. It is the giving that counts. One of the things that I enjoy so much about not living in a physical body anymore, although it was a lot of fun, I must admit, it was fun. And I met so many sweet souls, and I was able to be of help to so many delightful human beings. But when the time came and it was clear that I needed to transport myself up and out and into this etheric body that I live in, I became aware that my master plan of giving was now absolutely eternal. I have decided that now every single moment is a giving moment for me. I am going to give and give and give endlessly. Am I unique in this? Oh, for goodness sakes, no. I am only unique in that I have arrived at this point in my consciousness where this is all I want to do. I simply want to give. I notice that you all have the same desire. that you simply want to give. You want to give in a time of strife. You want to write a beautiful poem in the middle of a war-torn country. You want to bless at a time when it seems that people are making war against their enemies. You want to return goodness for evil. You want to give. And I promise you, my dear beloveds, that that desire to give is your greatest gift to this planet at this time. Yes, you are coming up to a very important election. And yes, it is going to be a challenging time. But dear souls, if you will think to yourselves every single day as you get a little closer to this election day, if you will think to yourselves, my task is to give to the horizon, to give of all the love I can to the absolute horizon of my being, then this time of crisis will become your time of reinvention. This time of great challenge will become your time of co-creativity. This time of violence will become your time of tremendous healing. If you will simply latch on to that North Star, that Polaris, and give and give and give. And of course, the giving doesn't stop after Election Day. It continues ad infinitum forever. It is my joy to watch you do so. Thank you, dear ones, for listening to me so patiently. You really are a darling group, and I do love you so. Bless you. This is your group, Souls Arena, and we are so blessed to have our Master Saint Germain come in so beautifully for us. We have another soul who has walked forward and would like to speak to us. He is coming from the 5 nations. He is a peacemaker himself, and he comes to speak to us of the peace that is to come. We step aside. Greetings, my sisters. I have had many names. I have lived as a man among you. I have lived as a woman. I have been called prophet, and I have been called warrior. I have been called changing woman. I have been called chief white buffalo. I have been called spider woman. I have been called grandmother bear. I have been called by so many names. I am the prophetic voice of the indigenous people of this continent. I am the prophecy. I am that voice that speaks to what is to come. I am the voice that spoke to my people of the Europeans that would one day come and speak a language that would land in an unfamiliar way upon our ears. I am the voice that spoke of the Rainbow Tribe, of a beautiful time of peace and coexistence. And I am now speaking again tonight of what is to come for this country, this place that you call the United States of America, this place of consciousness where we have lived for so many thousands upon thousands of years. What we are given to see now coming forward, aho, is a time in which the currency in your land will change. No longer will your country depend upon a currency that has to do with only today, with only the here and the now. No longer will currency have to do with things that do not last, but the currency will shift. Currency, what is of value, will be what lasts. That which lasts will have currency. And so water and air and soil, these will become the new currencies. Trees and flowers and plants of all kinds, these will become the new currencies, the new way to exchange energy. And how will these currencies be lifted up? There comes a time in this place that you call the United States of America, that we have called Turtle Island, when these currencies, the water, the air, the ground, the trees, the two-legged ones, will begin to value them to such an extent that they will be held as precious, precious gems and shared in such a way that the more is shared, the more that is given, the more support is received. It will be a state of consciousness in which all people, black and white and yellow and brown, all people will come together and recognize that the greatest gift that can be given to one another is the gift of clean water, clean air, beautiful tall trees that give shade, beautiful plants that heal and feed. And there will be a concerted effort, a giving effort, to make sure that the water is clear, that the air is clean, that the trees are able to stand tall, that all creatures are given a chance to live out their good red way. This is coming to your planet. Before this time comes, there will be a lot of conflict. Many will not want to let go of their current currency, their plastic cards, their bank accounts, their nickels and their dimes. It will be hard to let go of what is believed is earned. But at some point, it will become necessary to receive that which is freely given. Our mother, our Gaia, has given of herself to all of us, to you. And the time is coming when this will be how you value and give to one another. We want you to have hope. We want you to know that there is purpose behind all of this volcanic and rocky and always changing vibration. There is great purpose behind it. There is a beautiful return to a givingness that comes not only to Turtle Island, but to all islands everywhere, to all two-legged ones and all four-legged ones. The cycle of giving will be reclaimed. We thank you for listening. We thank you for being established in peace. Aho. And this is your group soul, Zarina. We thank all of our speakers tonight. And we thank you, dear souls, for giving of yourselves no matter what. Cecilia, we thank you for giving of your heart no matter what. Diane, we thank you for continuing to sing no matter what. Anne, we thank you for continuing to plant no matter what. Susanna, we thank you for continuing to teach and to love no matter what. Reverend Violet, we thank you for continuing to listen and to hold your North Star no matter what. April, we thank you for continuing to walk and listen and hear and rise above the noise and confusion and tune into the beautiful melodies of the wild world, no matter what. All of you, we thank you for continuing to move your bodies forward, no matter what. You are the giving, all of you. And those of you who listen to this recording later on, we would have you know that you are the giving as well. All of you are the giving, and you will continue to give. And as Master Germain has so beautifully laid out, it is the deepest desire of your being to be always, always giving. And in this giving, to know that what you receive in return is a bounty of infinite love that can never, ever be taken from you, for it is your truest and deepest nature. As you begin to bring yourselves forward, give yourselves permission to notice that you have feet with beautiful toes. Give yourselves permission to notice that you have knees, that you have thighs, that you have shoulders and arms and hands, that you have lungs, that you have necks and heads and hairs upon your head. Give yourself permission to remember that you have promised that you would live in your physical bodies with all the light of your divine being. Give yourselves the knowing that you are doing a beautiful job of being fully human and fully divine, and give yourselves the knowing that you are so deeply and dearly loved. You are such a gift, a profound, amazing gift. And we bless you. Namaste.